Welcome back to Awesome News TV, and today we're going to look at the Arsenal player ratings versus Southampton, and we're going to look at how Mikel Arteta's side got on individually in their Premier League clash with the Saints at the Emirates Stadium. Lots of positive things from the match overall, and hopefully we can continue to bounce with this sort of form in the next upcoming games and get back to where we should be as a football club. So in terms of the goalkeeper, Aaron Ramsey produced arguably the pass of the season to set Gabriel Martini off on goal in the first half, while also coming up with a plethora of sublime saves in the first half, and he is proving that he is a signing, and probably the signing of the summer at this moment in time. He has had a very solid performance. I have been impressed with his distribution on the ball, his ability to handle the pressure from the pressing game that Southampton were able to implement, but for his performance overall, he deserves a 7. In terms of Takehiro Tomiyasu, in his performance, as Arsenal struggled in the early stages, the Japan international was one of the few who looked switched on the back, then involved in both the opening 2 goals and deserved one of his only own to see Caballero save his header from a corner in the second half. And Tomiyasu has proved that he is a shrewd signing for £17 million from Bologna. A lot of clubs apparently did not want to sign this man, but we have been able to get his services, and he gets an 8 for his performance. Next up, we got Benjamin White. A few lapses in concentration where he misplaces his passes, and in the first many of Southampton's chances came down his side, got better as the game went on though, but he is a player that has still got a lot of time with him and that partnership that he has with Gabrielle Magalayas is something that should be taken into consideration. A £50 million signing from Mikel Arteta, and his ability to find passes at a certain moment in time did impress me, but for his performance today, he deserves a 6. Next up, we got Gabrielle Magalayas. He started shakily, but really grew into the game, and by the end was picking out some sublime passes from the back. A goal caps off a fine display, although the hope will be that he is not suffering from an injury after being withdrawn early in the match, and hopefully it was a conscious decision by Mikel Arteta to remove him from the game as he was on a yellow card, and he is an important part of this Arsenal squad. It's good that he was able to get the goal even though the first one didn't count, but for his performance he deserves a 7. Next up, we got Kieran Tierney. An assist for the Ødegaard goal was as a result of the sheer determination expected of the Scottish international. Couldn't really influence the game too much beyond that though, and in terms of Tierney, that competition between Nuno Tavares and himself is something that it will always be an enticing one, as that left back position is where I always have some food for thought who will play in that position. But in terms of Tierney's performance, that determination was able to get that second goal and pretty much seal the game, so he gets a 7 for his performance. Next up, we got Thomas Partey. The Ghanaian did look a bit low on confidence again as he tried to force passes that weren't on and misplaced possession a few times. A line splitting ball to Martin Ødegaard in the second half though is a reminder of the quality he possesses, and he has his partner back in Granit Xhaka. But when it comes to Partey, I really enjoyed his ability to and his work rate. I saw a little bit more of a dynamic Thomas Partey, which we have been missing for a very long time, as he had to play as a static number 6, but in this performance he deserves a 6. Next up, we got Granit Xhaka, and he gave the ball away a fair bit in midfield but provided a secure platform for the Arsenal fullbacks to get forward. Could copy and paste that from most of Xhaka's games in a Gunner shirt, to be quite honest, and he always has to cover when Kieran Tierney bombs forward, but there was a little bit more control in terms of the when Kieran Tierney did go forward and the way Xhaka did play. He'd like to run a little bit more, and that's something that we saw from his game, and he gets a 6 for his performance. In terms of Bukayo Saka, a lovely cutback for Alexandre Lacazette's goal, and the England international was a consistent threat in behind Kyle Walker-Peters that Arsenal took advantage of. In terms of Bukayo Saka's performance, I was very happy with him. He could have got a goal if that goal didn't hit the post, and he did have some opportunities where he really looks like he is a top level player, someone that is going to keep impressing. But remember, he has 2 years left on his deal and we should give him a new contract, but for his performance he deserves a 7. Next up, we got Martin Ødegaard. The Norwegian is clearly feeling himself right now, and after his third goal in 3 games, the party's tricks start coming out. Some lovely tricks and flicks, while moments of leadership and demanding things from his teammates show that he is really starting to feel at home in this Arsenal side again. And we all knew that he had the quality because he was signed by Real Madrid at 16, and that is a very, very young age. And for his performance today, he deserves a 9. Next up, we got Gabriel Martini, a real thorn in the Southampton side down the left, who provided a consistent attacking threat on his 3rd start in a row. With Aubameyang out, the Brazilian looks ready to step up and fill his shoes. And in terms of Martinelli's performance overall, I was very happy. He is someone that consistently shows his fitness and shows his ability to keep moving forward with the ball. And that's what we see on a consistent basis from Gabriel Martinelli. And for his performance today, it's fair to say he deserves a 7. And finally, we got Alexandre Lacazette. A weird one to rate, as the Frenchman was very poor up until his goal and not great after. Forced his slow to take shots on, but the team looked much better with him as its focal point. And I think there's a little bit more consistency, because if you play Martinelli, he likes to run a lot when compared to Smith Rowe. Smith Rowe and Lacazette really do not get along, whereas Smith Rowe and Aubameyang have a good partnership, and the same can be said with Martinelli and Lacazette. So if Lacazette plays, Martinelli has to play, or we need to have a winger that can really run with the ball. But for his performance, he deserves a 6. Overall, a decent performance. And in terms of the substitutes, if you have Rob Holding, Sambi Lokonga and Nicola Pepe, all deserve a 6. For Holding, he was assured and very switched on, given that this was his first game in a while. In terms of Lokonga, he will count himself hard done by to have dropped recently, but kept possession ticking over nicely after coming on when the game was won. And Nicola Pepe, he was actually involved in this game. You're not seeing this wrong. You're not hearing this wrong. Only for 6 minutes though, but he couldn't really influence it much. In terms of the performance overall, a strong performance from Mikel-Arteta's side. We need more better performances on a consistent basis. I've always stuck by what I've stuck by, which is the fact that there are 2-3 players that we need to remove, and those players are the ones that have been in the Wenger, Arteta and Emery era, and let's keep moving on. So we will have to wait and see how Arsenal performs at the end of this season. If you want to see more daily videos from Arsenal News TV, make sure you click the subscribe button, hit the like button so I know if you enjoyed the video, and share the video to your Arsenal friends and family. Click one of the videos on the screen and I'll see you there.